you're having trouble getting your hammer-ons to sound clean, if you're having trouble just getting the sound of the hammer-ons to come out of your guitar in the first place, or if playing hammer-ons is messing up your coordination and messing up the flow between your thumb and your fingers in the first place, this lesson is for you. I'm going to take the 3 kinds of hammer-ons you need to know, show you what those are, and break them down into some specific step-by-step exercises so you can get them sounding the way you want them to. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate all of these over a steady bass. I'm just playing quarter notes with my thumb on the low E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And the first kind of hammer-on is where you're playing a pinch between a bass note and a note on another string, in this case the 4th string. So I'm playing the open 4th string and then hammering on to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. That's at the beginning of the lick that I played in the opening. Just a simple blues lick. The hammer-on we need to be able to do is from the pinch to that 2nd note, playing on beats 1 and. And so this is the most important thing about playing hammer-ons at all, which is that the sound has got to come from your fretting hand, not from this hand. You should be able to get that sound to happen without even picking the note before it. And the way to practice that is to think about your finger aiming not for the string, but for the wood underneath the string. You want to aim for the fretboard, and the string just happens to be in your way. The second thing you want to do is move really precisely. It's like dropping a hammer. You want to come down hard and fast. If you come down slowly, or if you come down hard but you still don't move very quickly, you're going to stop the sound of the string, especially if you've picked the other note, pick the open note first. If you move slowly, the finger touches the string, cuts off the note, and there's nothing to do when you get to the wood. So that's why you want to think about going like right from here to, this is the fingerboard, and the string is somewhere here, and you're just moving right through it with your fretting hand. And so you can sit and just work on that drop. And when you can get that drop to sound the note all by itself, this is going to be no big deal. So just go to that note and work on making those drops quick and putting a little bit of force into them. One thing I want to caution you about, don't do this too many times in a row and not with too much force, because you do anything too much too often with too much emphasis and you can really start to wear out your fingers, wear out your hands. So take breaks, but just try to get that quick drop onto the string and then do the pinch, and you'll be able to get that sound. So when you can do that, then you can maybe even put it into the context of right. So 3 steps: dropping the note by itself with just the fretting hand, doing the pinch, and then dropping it in. And then when that's working, put it in context on beats 1 and. Now the next one is a little more interesting. And this comes up all the time in the middle of an arrangement. You may not even realize this is what's going on or this is what's being asked if you're trying to learn something from tab. You'll end up in a situation where you're playing along and you're playing a note on the and, like 4 and 1. And this note is coming in, the hammer-on's coming in on the beat. So you've picked on the previous and then you're coming in on, say, the downbeat, which means that you're picking by itself, no pinch, and then the thumb has to come in and coordinate at the same time that the fretting finger is dropping onto the string. So this is more of a getting the two hands to work together so there's no flamming or kind of disconnect between what each hand is doing. So you want to practice this by picking the open, in this case the fourth string. You've got that hammer on, right? We just did that. But now you want to coordinate the thumb hitting the low string as the fretting finger is coming in to the fretboard. And so you want to slow it down that much and try to coordinate it so that you don't get this or this, right? You want to get the two notes happening at the same time. So hammer on happening at the same time the thumb is hitting. And you can slow it down as much as you need to make that happen. And then you can start to put it in context. You can start with just one bass note before, so you're thinking 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. And then you can put in all the bass notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So in this case, the 3 steps, just making sure you got that hammer on, then synchronizing the hammer on with the thumb, and that's really where you need to spend most of your time. And then finally, putting in the bass until that flows. Okay, now the third kind of hammer-on includes elements of both of these things rhythmically, because in this case you're going to be playing before the thumb and then hammering on. So in the first case we had with a pinch, right on the downbeat as part of that lick. Right, so we're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then the next thing we had was, so and 1, 2. Now this third kind of hammer-on, you're going to pick before the thumb and then not do the hammer-on until after the thumb. And you can think of that as a kind of, it's like this one, right? 1 and 2, 3, 4, except we're anticipating we're playing on the and of 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the finger and the thumb are not ever happening at the same time. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And this is where that strength in the fretting hand really comes in, because you're sitting on that open string for a long time and you want to be able to let that note ring out, and when you come in finally with your finger, you want to be able to make that sound. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So you could break this down in terms of just thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So just having those two things going on. So picking with index, thumb, hammer on. And then you can put the bass in on all 4 beats. And that way you can have a phrase like this, and then you can vary it by coming in a half a beat early. So it makes things swing, and it's a way to vary things, and it's a really useful sound to have. So to practice that one, again, it's just making sure you have this, you can practice just letting that note ring out and come in with the fretting note, and then you can work on having index, thumb, hammer on, and then you can put it in context. 3 and 4 So those are the 3 hammer-ons you need to know, and some 3-step exercises to get each one of them up and running so it can be a consistent and reliable part of how you play. Those hammer-ons are a really important part of the rhythmic vocabulary of playing blues. You can take an ordinary blues scale, when you start to apply hammer-ons to it, it really brings it to life and really starts to make it sound more musical. So I recommend trying out those exercises. If you've got questions or comments about today's lesson, please leave them down below. I would love to hear from you. And as ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.